Hey guys, Au Lait here. So today I wanted to show you all of my dahlias in the garden, and I'm not sure why I was waiting so long to show it to you. It's kind of the end of the season, but you know what? Late is better than never. So I'm going to start right in front of our house. This is a dahlia, Alauna Clair, and it is planted in a pot. It is barely watered or rarely watered and rarely fertilized, but it's still doing so well. This is one of the cactus dahlias, so their petals are kind of pointy, just like a cactus flower. I actually have to deadhead this dahlia, and I'm going to show you how. It's one of the things that dahlias require the most is deadheading. The more you deadhead them, the more they're going to bloom for you. And actually, they make amazing cut flowers, so the more flowers you cut for your arrangements, the more flowers you'll get from your dahlias. So let me show you how to deadhead this one. So there is really not much to it. You look for a spent bloom like this, and you go down to where it meets other stems and just cut it right here. I see there's another one in the back here, and just clean it up. Tons of blooms still on this plant and buds, so as long as it's deadheaded, it'll produce more flowers this season. So here is our front yard bed, and I have some dahlias here that I wanted to show you how to deadhead when they already lost their petals. Actually, how to tell which ones need to be deadheaded, because it's kind of difficult. They look like buds. So this one right here is more of a cone shaped, so that is a spent bloom. So you see they're like more pointy, and the buds are more round in appearance. So that's how you could tell, like this one needs to be removed, and the bud ones are more like spherical. I also have this Lavender Perfection dahlia here. Lavender Perfection has been like this star of the show this year. Beautiful big flowers and tons of buds. I actually like when the dahlias still have this bud stage, and this one is just opened. Just prolific bloomer, looks great with all different colors, and I mean, I just love that color. And you know, this I planted with some cleomes, and there's some roses in here, but this dahlia here is my all-time favorite. This is called Myrtle Folly, and it looks like a sunset to me. So there are a number of dahlias like this. Their petals are pink on one side and yellow on the other side. It gives them this kind of like three-dimensional appearance. Oh boy, it's so windy today. I'm sorry, you guys. I hope you can hear me okay. But yeah, so this dahlia is just gorgeous. I've had this one for, I think, about 7 years. I've been saving the tubers from this dahlia. More Lavender Perfection, and this whole bed has been just such a joy. There's a snow country here. I've had some problems with snow country this year, but it's okay. It's still kind of blooming. Anyway, this bed, you know, we started it back in May, and all of these plants are just, you know, divisions from the other part of the garden, and I've been just enjoying this so much. It's just beautiful. So this is another dahlia that is a cactus dahlia, and this one is called Tsuki Yori no Shisha, and it's just a spectacular specimen. A beautiful white color. Let me show you this one here. This is a plate-sized dahlia, which is called Emory Paul. And gorgeous dahlia, gorgeous color, beautiful size. The only downside is that it has very short stalks, so it's not a great cut flower. You can put it in a plate, but it does not work for a cut flower. You can see how short that stalk is. So let me show you what I travel with as I take care of my dahlias. I have my little vase and little pruners, and I just cut some for the house as I go. So staking is very important in dahlias. Let me show you what happens when you don't stake your dahlias. So here's a lovely Emory Paul on the ground, just like this. And it's too late to stake it now because if I lift it, it will just snap. But this is what happens when you do stake your dahlias. It's just beautiful, lovely. So this is a new kid on the block for the season. This dahlia is called Bellini. And I just love this beautiful cyclamen kind of pink with yellow. Lots of buds, and the description did say it was a prolific bloomer, kind of a shorter dahlia. And I like that this one is sturdy. I didn't really have to stake it. I staked it anyway, but it has sturdy stems. But here's my problem. So on this side here, I planted exactly the same variety straight in the ground as tubers, and not a single bloom. So this was an experiment. I usually start my dahlias in pots. So this one I started in pots, and the other one I planted straight in the ground. What a difference. So here's a dahlia that is very popular. This one is called Au Lait, and it is a classic. It's absolutely gorgeous. So the interesting thing about this dahlia is that it color varies depending on where it is planted. It could be more of a creamy or peachy or pink or white. So this one I've had for a number of years, and every time it's in different spots, and the color is different every year. I'm sorry guys, it's so windy today, but you could see the grasses really moving so beautifully. Anyway, this dahlia is just really sturdy, really great for bouquets. Just a classic cut flower, gorgeous. So here's another dahlia that is new for me this year, and this one is called Vancouver. And this one is literally a traffic stopper. So I planted it on the Devil Strip, and people would just stop their cars and like take photos of it and get out of the car and like walk around. This is a plate-sized dahlia, and it's very prolific bloomer. This is the end of the season, but it still has tons of buds. Earlier in the season, it was just covered in flowers. It has these little white tips, also really good cut flower, nice stem, very sturdy, gorgeous. Look at that. So I did not mention the dahlia requirements, but here's an example where the dahlia is planted in its probably ideal location because this spot gets a lot of sun. So I get about 6 hours of sun here, and I would say that's how much dahlias require to bloom profusely like this. And this Tsuki Yori no Shisha has been blooming since June, just non-stop. Lots of flowers, just gorgeous, gorgeous dahlia. But the other dahlias don't get as much sun as this one. But if you want flowers like this, prolific, all season round, definitely more light, as much light as possible. Fortunately, I don't have that much light on my property. As you guys know, it's pretty wooded, but I'm just so happy this little plant, not little, it's pretty big, is just so happy in this spot. Look at this. So here is one of my struggles this year. I ordered this beautiful color dahlia. This is called Elue Boy online, and I think it has mosaic. So Dahlia mosaic, you can see on the leaves here, it looks patchy. The leaves are deformed, so I am going to probably send a sample to the Rutgers University where they can identify it, like this deformity right here, you see. They can just run a test and tell me for sure that it is a mosaic. Once you have a mosaic on your dahlia, you just have to remove it, so I'm probably just going to get rid of them at the end of the season. So here's another Emory Paul, and this one is in my flower garden, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I still have a lot more buds that are about to open in my flower garden, so probably another month of dahlias. Yay! So after walking in the garden and looking after the dahlias, I usually end up with something like this to bring home. So I deadhead and stake and cut some flowers for the table. The dahlias are an amazing plant. They are so worth the trouble. And even if you just start with one, they don't require that much care. Like I said, this one has been here all summer long and required minimal maintenance. And still I get these beautiful blooms. But if you get a couple of more, this is the result. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, post in the comment section below. I'll see you next time. Bye.